DogWorks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dogworks. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by First Paw Coffee Company, specializing in private label premium blend coffee. If you're serious about coffee, you should check it out. First Paw Coffee's passion is high-quality, small-batch roasted coffee. They take the extra time to taste and get everything perfect before they release new blends. They aim to bring you a cup of happiness each time you pour yourself some coffee. Find out more at ak.dog/free and enter for a chance to win some First Paw Coffee prizes, a book from our collection, and tote bag. One winner will be selected at random each month. That's ak.dog/free.
From First Paw Media, sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company, this is the Dog Driver Show. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert Forto and Kurosh Parto.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Robert Forto and I'm joined by my co-host KP, and we're calling in today on the Dog Driver Show, and today we have a special guest calling in from France. His name is Antony LeMoigne, and he is a world champion canicross racer, has 12 championships, 2 world championships, 3 European championships, has 4 dogs in his kennel, and he has been all over the world. KP, this guy knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah, Antony, I've been following Antony a little bit on the Facebook pages. He is a true champion and extremely dedicated gentleman. He lives, breeds canicross, and very, very athletic gentleman, and he has dominated the canicross sport for years, actually, around the world. He is calling from Normandy, and Antony, how are you doing?
Oh, fine. I'm okay, and I'm really happy to speak with you today.
Very good. Tell me a little bit when you started this sport and why you started this sport, and a little bit of your background, please.
Yes, I started running with my dogs a few years ago, about 10 years ago. I was a professional runner before, and I had a big patience for dogs, and I discovered this sport in France 10 years ago, and here in Europe it's more and more popular, and we have many races, and so I have 4 dogs today, and I race with each one of my dogs in canicross, bike jogging, ski jogging, and sometimes scooter 2 dogs.
When you said you were a professional runner, did you do cross-country running?
Yes, I was racing in cross-country, and I started my career with triathlon. I was a swimmer, biker, and runner, and I did a lot of Ironman. And then I had a short career in cross country, and then I discovered canicross.
Very good, very good. As you can imagine, in Alaska, we are not really used to canicross because usually the sled dog sport here in Alaska, it's over snow. Very, very recently, we have started a dryland race. Actually, I believe we are probably one of the pioneers in Alaska with canicross, scooter, and kart racing. In Europe, and especially in France, is canicross the most important part of the sled dog sport, or sled is also?
Yes, canicross today in France and in Europe is growing. We have a lot of people who practice this sport as professionals, but also just for pleasure. It's in Europe a complete sport, and we have a lot of people who practice, a lot of children, a lot of women, a lot of men and every ages. And we have many kind of dogs on each races. And which is very interesting is that people can share a good experience in sport with their dog. And sometimes a lot of people doesn't like to run alone, but when they run with their dogs, they have more motivation, and so they are going to run. So it's a question of health, you know. So in France, it's very very popular, and we have a lot of French TV emissions where Canicross is presented. So yes, it's a good sport today in Europe and in France.
That is fantastic. Very, very eye-opening for us, Robert. Antony, you mentioned that you have several dogs that you race with in canicross, scooter, or bike touring. Do you train them all the same way, or you train them different?
No, which is interesting is that all these sports need different qualities for dogs. In bike touring, you need a light dog and a very fast dog. In canicross, you need a strong and power dog. In scooter, two dogs, you need speed and power. So you need to do different kinds of training to have very performant dogs in each one of these sports. So I race. I have 4 dogs, but some dogs are better in canicross, others in bike touring. For example, Opal, my female, is very strong in bike touring because she is very light and very speed. And Link is heavy, so he has more power, so he is better in canicross. So I need to do different trainings to have the best performance with my dogs.
Antony, do you exercise your dogs and do you train yourself all year round?
Yes, I do a lot of alone training. I run a lot on track, and I do very hard sessions alone, because even if you have very good dogs, if you are not a good runner, it will be difficult to have a good synergy with your dog in the effort. So the most important is to have a good shape for you and your dog, or like a team. So you can't have half of your team which is strong and the other part which is not strong. So you need to have a complete training for you and for your dog. So I do a lot of training alone. Yes.
When you say you do a lot of training alone, you basically run without a dog yourself too?
Yeah, I run without my dogs, and sometimes I do a lot of fartlek training in the forest with my dogs free. They run free, and I do my running sessions. I do a lot of track with a lot of speed. And in September, I beat the world record on 1 kilometers, and I ran with Link at the average of 29 kilometers per hour. So I need to have a good speed in my legs to be able to follow my dog, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I can imagine. Here in Alaska, the extreme case of workout for dog drivers is behind. We are behind the sled, and we sometimes kick to go a little bit faster. But you have to run as fast as a dog, almost, right?
Yes, all right. You are true. And like I said, you are really a team. So you need to be connected with your dogs, and to be connected with your dogs, you need to be in a good shape, because it's the only way that allowed to your dogs to run as they can run. You know, if you are too heavy behind him, it will be difficult for him to run as he could run. So you need to have a good shape.
In Alaska, what we focus on is mainly the diet for our dogs, the food and the supplements for our dogs. You, as an athlete, Do you have to have a special diet and food for yourself to prepare your body for championships and races?
Yes, your food is your energy. So you need to choose a good food to have a good energy. It's like for your car. So it's very important for your dog and for you to have a good energy. So I try to have a special things to eat, but I eat everything, but not in a high quantity. That is the most important. And the most important to know is that you don't have the same energy for you and for your dogs. Your dogs, the main energy for dogs is I don't know how to say in English, but it's like lipid. I don't know if it's the same word in English, lipid. And for human, for people human, it's you need carbohydrate, you know. Yes. So you need different energy. But yes, I try to be really careful to my food and to my dog's food too.
What are the, just out of curiosity, what type of diet do you give to your dogs?
I don't know how to say dry food in. Yes, I give very good dry food for my dogs with a lot of I don't know how to say in English, but it's very specific. But a lot of lipid. Lipid is the main energy for the dogs in the effort. So they need to have a lot of protein, a lot of lipid to be very strong in the effort. And of course, I take care of their hydration to be sure that everything is okay during big trainings.
So Antony, we talked about dogs, and we talked about different type of dogs that you have for each event. Can you tell us what type of bloodline that you have, and what type of dog do you have in your kennel?
Yes, my dogs are a breed between a very fast dog. I don't know the name in English. It's called, in French, it's Lévrier. Okay. So it's very fast. Yes, very fast dogs, and it's a breed between Lévrier and hunting dogs. It's called I don't know. It's called. I don't know the name in English. It's Braco.
Yep, Brack. Yeah, we call it German Shorthair. Yes.
Yes. So it's you have the power of and the endurance of the Braco and the short pointer, and you have the speed of the Lévrier. So they are quite high. They have longer back, and so they have a very long stride when they run, so they give a good energy in the team. So it's a breed between very fast dog and very strong dog.
Yeah, I've heard people using the terminology of Greyster for these dogs with a mixed.
Yes, right. It's a mix between greyhound and
pointer dogs. Yes. Do you think those dogs are specialized for shorter distance and more powerful, explosive exercises?
Yes, you are true. It's a breed which is very adapted to this kind of sport, because we are like in a sprint sport for them. And when you are in the longer distances, you need very light dogs. It's like for human, when you run a marathon, you don't need to be very big. You need to be very thin. It's the same thing for dogs. As we are like in a sprint sport, we need to have strong and power dogs. So it's the reason why they are so good in this kind of efforts.
So earlier you learned about First Paw Coffee Company, and now I'm going to tell you about its Tail Wagger Blend. First Paw Coffee Company's Tail Wagger Blend is their first offering, and its name and label were crowdsourced from their Facebook fans. How cool is that? The Tail Wagger Blend is a private label premium blend that was developed just for them. It is a medium roast from Colombian beans with tastes of Brazil nuts, grapefruit, and oak. Be sure to go to ak.dog/free and enter to win a bunch of cool prizes. That's ak.dog/free.
Antony, I want to switch gears just a little bit and ask you about. It sounds like you're a very busy guy with all of these races that you do, with the carts and the bike Jordan, the scooter, and everything. Tell us about your life outside of dogs. What do you have going on?
Yeah, today I live only with my sport, so I give a lot of training camp, seminaries. I work with some brand to develop some products, and I live from my passion, which is canicross and dogs. So I'm happy with this. So I travel a lot, and my dogs are my family dogs first, and so it's my friends, and it's my people with who I work, so it's my family. So which is important is that my passion is for dogs, and I have two big passions in my life, three big passions. I have dogs, to travel, and to make sport, and canicross helped me to do these things every day of my life. So I'm happy with this.
So, Antony, do you live in the city?
Yes, I live near a big city, but I live in front of a big forest, and maybe 10 minutes from the sea. So I have a perfect place to train my dogs, and I have a big house with a huge garden. So yes, my life is done only for my dogs.
Excellent, for sure. So, Antony, we're just about out of time, and I asked the same question to all of our guests, and hopefully you can give us some insight. The question is, if a person were to get involved in dog sports, whether it be canicross or sled sports or whatever, what piece of advice would you give that person?
I think the most important thing is that you must never forget that when you are with your dogs, they are the most important. You can't do things only for you. The main things to remember is that when you practice this kind of sport, your dog must be your passion, must be your energy, and you must think through your dog, okay? And you can't do things only for you, only because you want to be the best or because you want to do this kind of things. You are not you. When you race with your dogs, it's a team. So you are not alone. And the most important is that you must never forget that the most important part of your team is your dog. That is the most important.
That's great advice. KP, anything else in closing?
Yeah, Antony, you are a truly, I didn't know that, but you're a truly professional athlete champion, actually. So that's your job. And this is a great platform here if you want to thank any of your sponsors, any people who help you, or any of the websites, social media that you have for our listeners to contact you, ask for advice, or ask your opinion about the canicross.
Yeah, you can, if someone have a question, it's easy to find me on social networks, so Facebook, Instagram, or my website. You just have to write my name and family name on Google, and the first link will be my website. So if someone has any question, I will answer to everybody. Trust me, I never leave a page without answer, and it's always a pleasure to exchange with all people. And of course, my main sponsors, which is called iDog, helps me to develop many products like harness, lines, belts. So it's a real pleasure to develop this kind of products and to be able to sell these products all around the world, and it helps to promote the sports too. So it's a total passion, and like I just come to say, if someone needs to have some information, just write me and I will answer to everybody.
Antony, again, thank you so much for being with us, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of your season, and stay fast and stay healthy, and and we will follow your results and your championships online for the future months.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to speak with you, and maybe I hope one day to come to see you in Alaska. Why not?
All right, fantastic. Thank you again.
Thank you. And on behalf of my co-host today, KP, this is Robert for the Dog Driver Show. We will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company. Learn more at firstpaw.coffee.
From First Paw Media, this is the Dog Driver Show. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you can see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert Forto and Parto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media.